Kyle.
No, it wasn't.
Kyle.
Yeah.
I think it's game time.
Okay. How do I get?
We're live.
Okay. Where do I get the connection here?
Go to my YouTube channel. We Rage as One. Where the hell is my phone?
I don't know where your YouTube channel is, but I will go out and see if I can find it.
We Rage as One. Where's my... Fuck me. Fuck loud.
Okay, I should subscribe, I suppose, to your...
You should probably make a new one, huh?
I don't see it. What's it called again? You Rage?
We
I'm
Rage
sending
as
it to you. I'm sending it to you.
We Rage. Oh, maybe it has any history over there.
So is it just showing the live at 4:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing... How did you just send that to me, Gavin?
I just sent you the link.
No, did you email it to me? Or
No, I texted it to you.
You what?
I texted it to you.
Well, then I have to turn around and send it to myself. I have to email it to myself from it being on the computer, right?
You
Yeah.
have to, oh, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, let's see here. Copy more, let's see if I can email it to myself. Menerally speaking, let me just go out there, because it's called Menerally speaking, I should be able to find it there, right? There it is. So, is it the same site as we went to last time?
Yeah, YouTube.
Okay, no, this is from last week, so I'm watching the feed from last week.
No, I just sent you the new one.
I know, but you texted it to me. I need to get it on my computer. That doesn't help me. Can you email it to me? Oh, let me go out to We Rage as One, and maybe I'll find it there.
Probably.
We Rage.
All one word.
We Rage as One. All one
Where
word.
the fuck did my Jack Daniels go? Garrett?
Dude, I don't know.
Garrett, where's my Jack Daniels?
Dude, you piss me off so much. Where is my...
Garrett, where'd you put my Jack Daniels?
I haven't been here.
I'm sick of it.
Am I on? Right? You have 94 subscribers?
Probably.
Okay, where do I'm on We Rage as One, but oh, okay, I got it.
You gotta join the Discord too.
Probably. Okay, I'm gonna hang up my phone.
Okay.
Discord too.
I'm gonna go grab a drink.
Me too. Thanks for offering me one. Am I closing the door?
Yeah. 2 minutes.
Here you go, boss.
Alright, I'm gonna show you the measurements.
Splash. Oh. He can't hear you, probably.
Oh shit. Grab the other bottle of vodka from downstairs.
What the fuck?
Dude, this just ran out. There's another bottle of vodka in the fridge in the
I think
freezer.
I'm in.
Huh?
I think I'm good. What's up?
How do I join? How do I join the call? I'm not on the call.
Go on Discord.
Go to general.
Gavin.
Go to general.
Gavin.
Go to
How do I join the call?
Go to general.
I can hear you, but you can't hear me. Go on Discord. What is Discord? Go to general. Go to general.
Kyle, first off, listen to your phone, not your Discord.
Jeez.
This is so stressful. God.
Are you on Discord?
I'm inviting him.
You're listening to the YouTube feed.
He's got to go to MSG. Tell him to go to MSG, and then he's got to go to general.
Put your headphones in there, Gav. He's probably talking there.
Gavin?
No, he's not. What's up?
Gavin,
Yeah!
you gotta tell me how to...
You just...
You keep telling me to go talk on my phone, and then you're not talking on the phone to me.
Go on MSG on the Discord, and then go to general. Click MSG, and then click general.
What is MSG? Is that an app?
Menerally speaking, generations. It's on Discord.
Dude, I can hear you on the computer, but I can't talk. It's not working. The speaker's not working.
Your mic isn't working?
Yeah, it's showing that it's not muted.
What the fuck?
For whatever reason, I'm able to join, but I can't talk. So it's not like it's sort of like I'm not really joined. You see me on the call, don't you?
No, I don't. You're not in the call.
But I'm listening to you. I can see you flipping around on general and on. I can see your mouth.
Huh.
There's something you got me set up, and I'm muted by you, by you, the owner of the thing.
I don't think I'm muted.
You're not muted. I can hear you on the computer. I'm muted.
You're not even in here on mine.
Okay, well, I can see you. I'm muted. Okay, now I can see your picture. I couldn't see it before. You're not even in here on mine. Okay, then how do I join?
He's switching between listening to the phone.
Dad, you're listening to YouTube and to the phone call. It's hilarious.
He's like, what's so funny?
So what am I doing wrong? Alright, so what should I be doing?
You gotta...
Are you on Discord?
Tell him I'm just gonna send him a private call.
I don't know this might be a topic for generations.
Kyle, how did you figure this out before and now you can't?
You sent me the link before.
On Discord? No, you just joined.
Send me the link. Kyle, how did you figure this out before and now you can't? You sent me a link.
I can't.
Because I joined from a link. This time I just logged into your site.
Oh. Kyle, are you on the app Discord right now?
So stupid.
Kyle, are you on Discord right now?
I don't know what Discord is.
It's the app I had you download where we were talking with the face cameras, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Come on, Kyle.
I forgot about that part.
That's a crucial part of this.
Alright, now I'm going to
Okay.
And there, and there's generally speaking, or generally whatever,
Menerally?
generally speaking, they shut this down. Now I'm going into here.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful.
I'm coming in right now.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Now it's
You get in the...
Go to general chat.
Huh?
Go to the general. Click on the general chat where I'm at. There you are. There you go.
All right. So now we need to send the link to. We need to send the link. If you post it on Facebook and post it wherever you do it, then I will copy your link on mine.
I already did all that.
But how would I? But I want. Okay, fine. But I want to post this on mine too.
Then yeah, the link is up there. I sent it to you in text, and I posted it on Facebook.
Okay, gotcha. So that text you sent me, that's the link
Just
to...
now, yeah. That's the link to this live stream that we're currently doing.
Okay, hold on one second. So now I need to go back to this link that you sent me, copy that link,
Have a vodka?
then go to Facebook.
Wow. That is a pretty color.
Okay, here we go,
Yeah,
Gavin.
try this.
Oh, we need to do the same thing on the cows thing.
His video is still...
Group me.
You
Because
gotta
Ryan wants...
go to the
Ryan
bottom of
wants to
Discord
join.
and press the camera button, and where it says video. Press the video button so your camera pops up.
You don't see my camera yet?
Nope. You gotta click the video button at the bottom left.
Bottom left. Oh, here we go. All right.
Hey, Untitled. Fancy seeing you here.
Hey, Gavin. All right. So, do we have the links? I guess I can see the link if anybody were to join. Do I see that?
You should. If you clicked on it, then
I see voice channels, but I don't see text or messages.
wait.
Nobody's joined, correct?
No, there's 2 people watching apparently.
And where would I see that?
On the actual YouTube, you just have it turned all the way down, and it says how many people are watching.
Okay. And where do I go to that for the YouTube?
The link I just sent, that's the YouTube. The link I sent
it
you,
is.
if you click that, yeah. It's all the same thing.
All right. So I got you. So if I click on that, then I'm going to see what I did last time, I guess.
You're going to see right now as we're filming, because it's live. The link I sent you
Okay.
is to this live stream that we are
All right,
currently
I
live.
I got you. So, I got you. So part of this, for anybody that's watching, we'll Gavin and I've known Gavin since he was really little. In fact, I was probably one of the first 5 that changed his diapers.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that Gavin and I got to talking about last week or so was this idea about how different generations look at different things. So we thought it would be fun, especially because Gavin is an aspiring, very talented young man looking to use his talent to entertain people, to be able to do this where I get to do a little fun thing and get to talk about from my perspective. And I was a journalism major. I love talking, and Gavin and I always have a good time together. Eventually, if this grew into something, and we'd like to represent different aspects of generations than we currently are with Gavin and I, but that's something we'll work towards, and if it makes sense, we will. As kind of a quick introduction, in terms of who we are, I'm a Gen Xer, and Gavin, you are a
Gen Y. The best generation.
Gen.
You're breaking up. Breaking up, Kyle. Breaking up.
Actually, you're not.
What?
you're 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 not a Gen Y.
I'm not a Gen Z.
Me?
I'm Gen Y. I'm pretty sure the cutoff was in 96, 97. And
Yeah, and you were born in 94.
I was born in 93. I'm 2 months older than Garrett.
Gav?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Gavin?
Yeah, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can. Were you born in 94?
I was born in 93.
I can hear you. Can you hear?
You.
Yeah, so that means you are. That
Yep.
means you are not.
Do you have
Say
an
again?
Do you have an Ethernet cable that you can plug into your router because you're bugging? You are glitchy.
Well, let me shut down. I'll shut down some of the conflicts that are on my computer with different things. How about that? Because I'm hearing myself in the background because of the thing. Gavin, I'm going to have you take care of all the any texts or questions then, okay?
Okay.
Because I was getting some conflict. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get going here. But one of the things that Gavin and I got to yapping about was just this idea of being able to talk about various things and different perspectives. And I'm gonna throw out the first topic, Gavin, and let you chat about it. And then I'm gonna find an article that I heard something this morning on CNN that I found very interesting about generations that we can talk about in a little bit. But let's talk about dating, Gavin. At the end of our time last week, somebody asked us a question about dating and how the differences are between the generations. And it's an interesting topic for me, being as that I am a divorced person and dating, and you being a younger person and dating, not married.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about the different generations and how they look at dating differently?
Well, I think the older generations, it was more, like, I would say, it was more like heartfelt and almost easier. Because nowadays I feel like, I don't know if this is just my own personal struggles, but I just feel like it's so easy to fuck everything up nowadays. And it should be easier to date, but in reality, with all the temptation and stuff like that, with social media, I feel like it's kind of been corrupted, and the sweet holding hands and the car door opening and the paying for dinner, it's just starting to all fade away.
Can I call bullshit on that a little bit? So you're saying that because of social media, it makes cheating
No.
more?
I'm not saying because of social media. I'm saying this day and age, I feel like it's more prevalent that people are doing that, and that social media is playing a part in it because it's making it a little easier. And I feel like people are also turned off to the fact of being with somebody because they're exposed to so many other people constantly on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'll call bullshit on it again. I don't think there's less amount of people cheating. I think there's less amount of people getting caught. I mean, I'm sorry, more people getting caught because of said things. I don't
Which in
think
turn
that,
is destroying relationships because people were able to cheat and get away with it.
I know,
right?
But that's not a good thing.
I didn't say it was a good thing. I said it was a fact.
Oh, I gotcha. I guess my thought about dating, though, and I get the traditional dating as I see it now as a 53-year-old man dating, the idea of going and picking up a woman and meeting their parents, I'm well beyond that, right? I pick people up at their own homes now, or don't pick them up at all. Really, you just meet somewhere. But that whole dating and the generation not being the same. You and I are both of the age now where probably people aren't living with mommy and daddy anymore on dating, but because that's the way I was when I was married. I mean, meeting. That was at a time when my ex-wife actually lived at home for a while. But what has changed in dating then, per se? You start talking about going out on dates and paying for dinners. Talk about that part. How is that for people your age? 27-year-old guy.
Paying for dinners? Well, I'm not the type of person to be like, equality. You could pay for my dinner. I've always just kind of grown up knowing that I gotta open the doors for girls and, pay for dinner and do that sort of, not so chivalrous, but just what I thought was normal dating back in the day. I still do that, but I feel like the next generation after is the one that we're going to have to worry about when it comes to that, because chivalry is dying slowly, especially with people saying that, I don't know, so there's a lot of women out there that are talking about equality right now and how they're not treated equally as men, so men are taking that fact and going, okay, well then you got to do this for me, and you got to do this for me, and you got to do this, and I don't know, I feel like that's going to hinder how relationships were, that kind of mentality.
It is interesting, Gav, and I meet a lot of I've met a lot of cool women, but they don't have the attitude of they don't still want to be treated like a woman, have the doors open for them, do all that they're certainly capable of opening their own doors. It's not about that,
right?
And it isn't necessarily about paying for dinner, although I subscribe to your subscription that you pay at least those initial times out, and at some point it's always been my history that people then will start to reciprocate and pay, but I've always felt better. But that other thing you're talking about equality is about pay. It's not about dating, right?
No, but I'm just saying that's what dudes are doing. Like, if you follow social media trends and stuff like that, that's like the current thing. Is that's kind of an immature thing that guys do then? They fall back to, well, if they want equality, they can take me to dinner too? Right, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting push towards things. By the way, Gavin, you are a millennial is what you are.
Which is Gen Y.
Just so you know.
Right?
What's that?
It's Gen Y, right?
Well, a millennial, Gen Y. I thought you were saying you were Gen. Okay, I got mixed up then.
I would never say I'm a Gen Z. Never.
Well, you're not a Gen Z. It's interesting though, because we have some Gen Zs in our family. Everybody kind of after Rachel are Gen Zs. Mm-hmm. Everybody born after Gavin or Rachel, and actually no, after Creighton. No, Creighton's younger than Rachel.
97, January of 97.
97 is, and so Rachel's 99. So it's interesting that difference, because I have some things I want to share with you that I found very interesting that I heard on Smirconish, which is a really good show on CNN. I heard that's recorded from yesterday. So dating overall, you don't see a huge difference between what you perceive of someone at 53 versus someone that's 27. You have the same kind of thoughts that I do, but you think that the younger people are starting to have this mentality of, well, kind of, if you want equality, buy your own dinner, or buy me dinner, or split the dinner, or is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, no, that's definitely what it is.
That is what I'm
seeing.
I would tell you that many times that I've been offered the opportunity to say, well, you want to split it, or you want to do something to split it or whatever. I never do. But I wouldn't expect that to happen, because I do think that traditional going on a date does still mean something.
I think at the beginning.
So let me
go ahead.
What's that?
I think in the beginning it should be the man who's paying for everything, but like further down the line, if like you guys are like in an established relationship or even married, it's probably cool that she pays for dinner sometimes, so that way you're not always broke.
Yeah. Well, and maybe, that you're right, because that's another thing about generationally speaking. When I got married, we just put all our money together. In fact, we put our money together before we even got married. In the beginning, my ex paid for more stuff than I did. She was making more than I was, in a way, because she didn't have house pay. She didn't have to pay for rent, and so it wasn't uncommon for her to pay for a lot of stuff. But we knew that, and then we just merged everything before it started. So I think that's probably more common when you're younger and get married for the first time, because if you were to get married today, if I were to get married today, there's a lot more stuff that you walk into, whether it be kids or houses or responsibilities or, retirement funds, whatever.
Right.
Let me ask you something, Gavin, about the next topic, because I've got 4, and if you see any others that come from the group, we'll take them. But What about what's going on with the military and some of the things that are going on relative to, the recent thoughts about military action? What is your overall thought, you think, from your generation on military action, just generally speaking?
Are you talking about like putting down troops in different countries, or because I'm not too sure what's going on with the current scenario?
Yeah, well, just the idea, the airstrikes in Syria, those kind of things. But generally speaking, I didn't want to get too specific with you because we didn't prep for this, and I didn't think it'd be fair for you and I to throw something out like this. But generally speaking, just love and war, kind of the idea of war, where we haven't had anything during the Trump stuff. We had very little going on, but part of it was just kind of this hands-off approach in terms of military actions. But then airstrikes on Syria are things that are hot topics these days. But I want to just go more general for you, because you've seen a lot of war in your short life, and just generally, what do you think people your age, young people your age, think?
I think we're against starting things that don't need to be started, but we are all pretty okay with the fact that we need to defend ourselves and others from people who mean malice. Like, if they're gonna be
generally,
go ahead, sorry.
And generally speaking, your attitude about involving yourself in us involving ourselves with the outside, with other countries.
No, I think if we see something that's wrong that we can put a stop to, we should be able to help them out, especially if it's a country who can't defend itself,
Obviously, in my time, in my lifetime, as much as the thing in Kuwait in the early 90s was a big deal, that was kind of a fairly short thing. After 9/11, though, but after 9/11, because that was pretty much controlled. We went in, we took care of what we needed to take care of basically because of oil, right? And taking over Kuwait, it was about oil.
Yeah,
we went in and did it, but we didn't go overthrow a government or anything like that. We just got them out. And then, not 10 years later or so, 10, 12 years later, some of those same realities, and ironically, it's a similar last name for a president. And this isn't about politics. It's just something happened. Some of the same players were there, and we did things differently. That's the most significant military thing that I certainly have been a part of, and it was so significant and still to this day goes on. What are your thoughts from your perspective about that kind of long-term involvement, which has historically been something we've done? We have troops all over the world.
I think it's, as long as, so the thing, how do I say this? I feel like there's ulterior motives for why the government truly is intervening in different places. Oil is a big one. But I feel like it is smart for some of the at-risk places for, that are going through, hardships with other countries or with their own government, that it's better if we stay there so there's not just complete anarchy in a country. I don't know. Like the world's police, I guess, like everyone calls us.
Yeah. Let me move on, because I know we're going to try to go through these topics fairly quickly and understand, but this is something that I saw this morning, or it was recorded yesterday, but I thought it was interesting, and I'm not bringing it up to question anything, but I think it speaks to what you've talked about social media, maybe people feeling more comfortable, although we live in a world right now that is just still full of bullies. People feeling bullied at school, either through the internet or physically, even with COVID. That I think that stuff kind of goes on. But it was an interesting session they had today about Americans and how many of them self-identify as LGBT by generation. And it was super interesting, so I thought I'd get your reaction to this. Traditionalists, who are folks that are born between 1946, 1.3 of that population identify as LGBT. Not very much. And there's lots of reasons for that, I'm sure. Maybe they don't, there's still this, whatever. It doesn't matter why it did it. Baby boomers, 2.0% say that that's where they identify. Generation X, which is my generation, 3.8%. And then the millennials, your generation, 9.1%. But this Generation Z, 97 to 2002. How many folks do you think self-identified as LGBT? Remember, 9.1 is in your group. How many do you think did?
15.
Yeah, you're pretty good. 15.9%. And so one of the questions then is why? Are the numbers that much bigger, or
No,
are there
I can
other
tell you why.
reasons?
People have been hiding their sexuality and feeling ashamed about it for so long that either A, they all already killed themselves, or B, they're just living their life as a lie because they've already gone this far. That's what I think. That's a great question that I love hearing, because a lot of people, like, you may think that social media is trying to push people to be like either gay or whatever, but no. I feel like it's more accepting now, so more people are comfortable with coming out. I feel like I have heard, oh my god, I heard a story the other day. I don't want to mention names because this guy, I know him personally, but the woman he married, her father killed himself because he was married, he's a Mormon, and he was married to her mother, and he was just unhappy, and he was sneaking around, and he got caught, and he offed himself.
With a guy.
Yeah, with a guy, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
so
feel like suicide's a big part.
That's a double whammy, right? I mean, that one, there was probably just as much guilt for being the infidelity as it is the experience of explaining.
But he's had to hide it for so long, and he's afraid of persecution from the church and his peers, and I completely understand the situation that he was in. Like, it must have been very hard. Very hard.
Yeah, I share your optimism that that's a good thing, but I also share a little bit of interest. It's not concern, it's interest as to if that's all it is, or are there other things that are coupled into it? Just the confusion that people have, because in the same poll, Gavin, 5.2% had no opinion of where they identify. And that could be just somebody saying it's none of your business.
Yeah,
it very well could be.
That's answer number D. Answer letter D. Like, none of the above.
Because your generation, 8.1% say no opinion. My generation, 7.6%. So the fact that those numbers are there does speak to some people saying it's none of your freaking business.
Yeah, exactly.
At least that's what I think it means, because...
Yep, I would assume so.
Because they don't, maybe it's a lack of trust that they don't want to know who's going to be sharing the information, and if their stuff is safe, their answers are safe. Right. I just found it super duper interesting, and I thought it was optimistic too, that people can feel a little bit better about it. I don't know though. I found that super duper interesting. Gavin, are there any questions before we jump into my last one?
No, not at the moment. No.
Okay. So here's one that is near and dear to your heart. We don't prep for these things, but and it's near and dear to your heart because we've all gone through this. I've gone through this myself. But how do the generations differ in when it's time to look for a job, and where they put their importance so that they know they are putting their best foot forward in presenting themselves so that somebody wants to hire them? Because more than ever before, just like you talked about with dating, there's a track record. People can find things out. You can't hide. If you cheat, you're going to get caught. Maybe that's one of the causes that we talked about. But in job searches, there are so many more ways that employers can do this, and they don't. No one's ever giving a wink and a nod to somebody. But if you were somebody that was doing, I don't know, if you were part of a controversial political group, be it on the left or the right, and you're posting crap on the internet, somebody who might go to hire you, and otherwise they might go out and see something that any of us have done, and our life, our history, is out there painted for the world to see. And even though they never say it, there would never be a way to know that somebody went out and saw something I posted on Facebook and then didn't hire me because they didn't like what I put.
Right.
What is harder about looking for a job, you think, today, knowing that everything you do is out there for the world to see?
I think as long as you aren't stupid on social media, most employers would look past most of this stuff as long as it wasn't like violent or illegal activities. I feel like even a lot of employers have their own personal Facebook or social media pages. I think it just comes down to the fact that a lot of people nowadays are going to have pages like that, but we can't really necessarily judge that person off of just their social media, because like me, I just post satirical shit all the time. Like, I'm never serious. When I'm serious on Facebook, it's apparent, but when I'm being satirical, it's like you can tell which way I'm leaning. And I don't think necessarily that the personal stuff from social media is affected. I think it's just if you have like red flags that pop up anywhere. I think, oh man, how do I say this? The person you are on social media somewhat reflects the person you are in real life. It can reflect your humor, it can reflect like your true emotions, but if there's a red flag on social media, I feel like it's going to be apparent in person.
Yeah, look, I'm not arguing with you. I just think about, and this goes a lot of ways, especially coming off of a very controversial president. If you're out there right now, look, I'm on dating sites, and people will say, I'm not going to even go out with somebody that likes Trump, for instance. Mm-hmm. But the same goes true if you were a big Trump supporter. And I'm not saying either of us are, because I'm certainly not, and I don't think you are, but I've been Republican all my life up until the last couple of years. But I still think it's interesting if you were to put, have a hat that you were wearing in a, Make America Great Again. If an employer saw that, there is a good chance you won't get the job. It's a good job.
I would just say it depends on the company, but politics, any political stance, you're putting yourself at a bias, no matter what. Like, you're splitting your jobs in half the second you start posting political shit, cutting whatever friends, whatever it is.
I think anybody would be long served to ever find anything I've ever posted. And I see people that give their views one way or the other, up or down to a certain political thing, and it could ruin families.
Yep.
But looking at jobs, there are people in families. I listen to Ben Shapiro quite a bit, and I try to listen to stuff on the left and the right. And he's more of a conservative. He's a more right guy.
He is a conservative, not more. He is a conservative.
Well, he's not as conservative as some people. He's certainly not someone in the wake of.
Well, he's not Sean Hannity. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not Sean Hannity, but he's conservative, no doubt about it. But my point in bringing that up is that we just live in this world where we've drawn these lines, but even more than that, anything you do, an employer, it only takes the hiring manager, one thing they could see, and that could turn them off. And I'm just wondering if it's harder today, because when I do stuff, it's like LinkedIn, it's professional stuff. And then my kids tease me all the time because I change my background pictures all the time. And then once a year, I do talk about something that's coming up on the anniversary of my cancer surgery that I'll always talk about. Anytime you get an employee benefit around health and wellness, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Your company's giving you a gift. And if you don't take advantage of it, it's really stupid, because your company benefits from you being healthier in the mind, body, spirit. And if they're spending some money on it, try it. If you don't like it, you can stop it, but try it and put your heart and head into it, and you'll feel better. And I found out I had cancer as a result of those programs, as you know, Gav.
Right.
But let's I know we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes, but I am just so interested in this whole cancel culture that's going on right now, and it's even more than cancel culture because anything you put out there could offend. I literally went and I'm on a dating site, and I literally put a picture because I think it's one of the most beautiful sights of the Chicago River, and the picture of the Trump Tower here in Chicago. It's a gorgeous building, and she literally said, "Well, I don't think I could go out with you because you're a Trump fan." I said, "I'm not a Trump fan. What are you talking about?" And she said, "Well, you have a picture of the Trump building." I'm like, "Well, it's a picture of the Chicago River. It's gorgeous." I didn't even but that's the people's mentality.
Yeah.
And hiring managers, even though they never would have to say why, can use that to justify their decision. And why not go with the least common denominator, which is, well, let me go with someone I don't know likes Trump or
someone
whatever.
that I can agree with is the one that you're going to pick at the end of the day. I get that.
Exactly. Exactly. Do we have anything else, Gav?
We've got 3 viewers now. If anybody would like us to cover a topic, I do have something to say about cancel culture. I think the internet has a lot of power, and I think that if you're someone who has any sort of influence on people through social media, you should probably watch what the fuck you're doing. I feel like if you're applying to a job where it is a technical job that deals with computers or responsiveness, maybe even customer service, you should probably watch what you're posting. But I think for some like smaller time people, I don't think, because you got to think about the age group. It's people that are hard workers that have a business and that business is all they own. I'm talking about like private business owners. That business is all they know, and they don't tend to look at social media. They tend to look at the people. Like, that's small businesses. I feel like bigger businesses, they're the ones that kind of check that stuff. But, there could be a bias just because of just the political aspect of it or your views on certain things. But I think that's more of a bigger business kind of spiel.
As you know, Gav, I've worked for small and big businesses, and I look all the time. If I know I'm going to interview somebody, I go to their Facebook page. Right. I go to their LinkedIn page. I look at all that stuff only because hiring somebody might seem like, okay, you hire them, they don't work out, get rid of them. It's expensive. It's expensive to hire the wrong person. Yeah. And so you're always going to go with the more sure thing. This is not like that you're trying to buy you're going for a hiring is super important, and you're going to go with the one typically. Now, if you happen to know somebody and they know your heart, they know your work experience, they know your talents, that's fine. But you, in many ways, and I'm not saying recruiters necessarily spend a ton of time on those sites because they don't have time. I mean, they're going through volumes and volumes and volumes of resumes to get it down, but they're using software to cut through stuff. And if you're not saying the same words, your resume won't even get picked up. It'll get kicked out. No one's ever looked at it before. There's certain things that it's just looking for words, and once if they don't see those words, you don't even get a chance for a human eye to look at it in some cases. Now, some recruiters do it differently. I know one in particular. She tries to look through them as much because she wants to find some treasures.
Right.
Some treasures of some people. But
I just think that you're not putting your business side out there on your personal social media page. So I think it's a little wrong to judge somebody for like personal things. Like if it's political and you've got beef with that, I feel like it's wrong to do that because you can't judge someone's qualifications for a job because you don't agree on personal aspects. But I see how people do. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not
right or wrong. It's being done because this is an investment, and before you get an investment, make an investment, whether it be a car, an employee. And here's the interesting thing about an employee. An employee, no matter how technology changes and grows, an employee continues to be the biggest, best it's the only asset you have. It's the only thing you invest in that appreciates in value versus depreciates in value. As soon as you buy a car, it's less expensive, and you start to write it off on your balance sheet, right?
Yeah.
But people, if you're at a company a year later, you're more valuable than when you started.
Right.
And then 2 years later, more valuable still. So the importance, and if you're not proving that value, the company's going to get rid of you. But they're not going to invest in it, you know. So it's an interesting thing, and I think this one is going to be important as people come back to work. We know there's a ton of people out of work right now, and we know that as COVID starts to clear, the people looking for jobs, it's going to be much bigger. There's going to be a big rush for things. But the good news is, for those that are hungry, best foot forward, there are some people that have gotten lazy. They've gotten lazy because they're getting some money, not anything to be rich about, but they've kind of also lost their drive. They're beaten down. They're defeated. It's tough day after day after day without knowing when the job's going to come in, because whatever you do in some industries, it's hard to get a job. But as these things come back, there's going to be a huge opportunity for the ones like the early bird that does the prep. There's going to be some good jobs, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Anything else, Gavin, you have in conclusion?
Not necessarily. I think that at the end of the day, you're not able to judge a person's true character from their Facebook, because they can click 2 buttons. They can misclick buttons. There's so much error. And unless you're talking to that person face to face, and it's really easy to read through someone's bullshit. I feel like I've interviewed a couple of people for employees, and it's really easy to tell when someone's bullshitting you and telling you what you want to hear. But it's really hard to judge a person's character from like a couple of posts. Unless you're going through everything and their videos and the way they talk to people, you're never going to know a true person unless you spend time with them. But I guess it could help, but it's also not a truly reliable factor going through someone's Facebook.
Gavin, that is so well said. You think about these people that have made one mistake. Mm-hmm. You know, that recent thing, just that the host of The Bachelor, and Ben Shapiro was doing this. I don't watch The Bachelor, but he was doing something on it last week where he talked about Chris Harrison's, I think his name got canned because he said a derogatory word, a very bad word, and he didn't say it, as I understand it, didn't say it by calling this racial epithet to somebody, but making reference to a story about one of the other contestants had said it, and so was just repeating it as the word, as the story goes.
Taken
but
out of context.
Yeah, well, because he said the word because he was referring to somebody who said the word. Mm-hmm. And that's happened a couple of times now with a New York Times writer and with some other people. And so we just got to understand that sensitivity is real. And it's a word that just shouldn't be used.
Yeah.
But and you're right. It's too bad that one word can knock down an entire career, but that's kind of what we're up against now.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we're up against. And it's kind of that old saying about a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Well, there's kind of a saying out there is your morality could be judged by your weakest word. And it's not great. You know, there's that lady that's trying to be the chief budget office thing, and she said some pretty derogatory things towards the senators, and now they're the ones that hold her fate of whether they'll let her have this job in the Biden administration. So she's probably going to get. So it's on both sides. You know, it's on both sides of the angle. Just got to be careful about what you say about people, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Keep it to yourself, or talk to amongst your loved ones if you must, but don't put it out on social media, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
So
try to avoid controversy as much as you can.
Yeah. Anyway, brother, I love you.
I love you too, Kyle. It was nice talking to you. Before you go, I do recommend that you get an Ethernet cable for your laptop to go to your router, because you've been frozen on my screen for about 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Have I?
Yeah.
I live as you know, I live in a high rise, and typically I have no problem. Just a ton. I have a number of computers going, but I'll do some work on it and get your help. Because, generationally speaking, I could use your help.
Yeah, generationally speaking.
All right, bud.
All right, Uncle Kyle. I'll talk to you later. It was good talk today.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.